Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside Podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside Podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and man, oh man, Ringside crew, we're in the middle of Tri-State Wrestling Month, and I was looking back to my interviews from last year, and I was going through and I was looking, and I found this person that absolutely made me smile, made me laugh, and I was like, it's only one shot. You only get one shot at this. Let's give a warm Dudes, well, even though it's part two. Let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside return to Taylor Oneshot. Welcome, Taylor. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
Awesome. So, what have you been up to since the last time you were in the Dudes at Ringside studios?
A lot. I don't remember the exact month of last year that it was, so could be a whole bunch of things. I just wrestled in Albany, New York this past Saturday for the Dynasty, Heavy Lies the Crown, where I took on Nahar Robles in a pretty intense match. It was pretty fun. She did unfortunately get the best of me, but I got back at her later on when she went on to face a friend of mine, Layla James. I don't know if you know her, but it was great.
I know Gemma. She was at that show.
Oh, Ringside Gemma. Yeah, she's the new general manager of the Dynasty's Diamond Division. She's a sweetheart. I've known her for, I want to say 2 years now. I met her at a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame show in Albany, and she's local to where I'm local. She's a sweetheart. And then I know her grandmother too, Rita Chatterton, who is a sweetie as well. So, yeah, I know the whole family. They're adorable.
Gemma, anytime she needs something, she'll always come to do. She always knows what podcast door to knock on before any door. I can see her little feet, like, you know the one with the bird that was running down the hallway. I could see her like, I have news. Nope, not that podcast. And it's just like she doesn't even have to knock. She just goes and I'm just like, I could be talking to a wrestler or female wrestler and I'll be like,
and she knows everybody. She's a sweetie. Sorry. This whole like camera perspective thing is throwing me askew right now. I can't figure out why I'm not turning, but what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
StreamYard, pick up your game. I don't know what it is.
I probably need a new phone. Who knows? I might have smashed it at my last show. I don't really know. I do a whole lot. There was a lot going on. We had a lot of moving pieces. We had like Tina San Antonio and Kylie Page for one of the NWA Women's Championships, like a regional Women's Championship. And there was a chance that I was almost going to go up against Kylie, but stuff gets moved around last minute. What are you going to do? It was still a phenomenal show. No, I mean, I've done a lot over the last few months even. I've been to like New Hampshire, Connecticut, Maine. I'm going back to Maine on the 15th to wrestle for Maine Premier Wrestling. It's their anniversary show of 1 year as a promotion, and they're introducing their women's championship, which it's going to be me versus Nashova, formerly Nakoma, Layla James, and God damn it, it's gonna piss me off. Islanda? No, shoot, I forgot who the I got bonked on my head this weekend a few times wrestling, so she's gonna kill me. But I can't remember the fourth girl's name right now. But she's a sweetie. She's got blue hair. She's the Suplex Sweetie. It's her name. I don't remember. I'm sorry. They're gonna kill me for it.
Yeah.
What's she gonna do? But there's a chance that I could win that championship. I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that I leave Maine and bring it back to New York with me. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, no, like I said, done a lot of different things. Went down to Elite Wrestling Training Academy to train with Mike Harlow and Scott Reed for a little bit. They're one of the WWE ID schools. I'm not WWE ID'd, but to go there, to work with them, to fine tune yourself is definitely something that if any wrestler has the opportunity in the Northeast, I suggest it because there's some of the best people out there. And I plan on going back down there again to keep sharpening my claws, if you will.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you, Taylor. It's just like everything you're doing. It's right now, everything in my head. It's like that meme with all the people standing up clapping. I'm like, that's so cool. Taylor's doing so cool, doing so well. The one place you didn't mention, remember, in my neck of the woods, the Keystone State. You got to come over to PPW in Slatington. Like
I would love to. I haven't been to Pennsylvania in a little bit. There are they Keystone? Is that what you guys are? The Keystone State?
Keystone State. I always I was trying to find it like a rock and then have a key, be like Keystone.
Okay.
Or for your Rob Van Dam's or your Matt Riddle's Keystoned. Like Keystone.
Oh yeah. You got the beer and stuff too.
Yeah. They actually have a brewery that's in the location in Slatington. They have their own. There's a brewery that's in the building, like in the corner.
Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah. I know there's some promotions that literally wrestle inside of like breweries or beer distribution centers, and the pictures always look cool. Those I haven't yet wrestled.
Smash
one of those.
Masters did that.
Ooh.
Smash Masters Wrestling did that in Scranton at Voodoo Brewery.
Nice. Yeah, I've reached out to Smash Masters a few times. Their roster is currently full. But I would love to reach out to PPW. I'd like to go back to Pennsylvania. Who did I wrestle for? It was at Hamburg, Pennsylvania. I wrestled for American Excellence down there.
Once upon a time. Okay.
Yeah, there's.
I know Hamburg. They had that. They used to do the show at the Field House.
Yeah, that's exactly where it was. Was the historic Hamburg Field House where Vince Sr. put up the lights that are still there to this day. And it was pretty cool. I wrestled Izzy McCoy when I was down there, and I got to recreate because there's a classic moment where Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant outside of WrestleMania because he did it a few times before and maybe once or twice after, but it was before the WrestleMania moment. He did it once at the Hamburg. So I did one of my finishing moves, the Bichinuku driver, which is a Michinuku driver, but I just call it the Bichinuku. So I got to recreate that moment with Izzy McCoy. It was pretty fun. The crowd down there is very hyped. Very good wrestling crowd down in Hamburg and in the Pennsylvania area from my experience. So I would love to go back. And the promotion was tremendous. I believe it's Kevin Kelly's promotion, it was, or so something like that. I don't know. I might be crossing some wires here.
All I can think is the old school WWF when I hear Kevin Kelly. He had the
radio that's
station.
Exactly what it was.
Yeah. So, definitely try to come to PPW. I'll send you the info later on. Maybe I'll see you at a show because their next show is April 12th. So,
I might already be booked April 12th. No, I am. I'm going to be at TIW in Massachusetts for April Assault. That's the problem sometimes is you get so backloaded in the front of the year, and then like you get all these dates throughout the year, and I'd probably double booked somewhere. I would imagine. I got to figure it out. I got to do better calendaring, to be honest with you.
You gotta do it like me. I actually say that with a grain of salt and through my teeth because I've double booked myself on a Sunday. Like I'll say, okay, I'll work with you at 2:30, and then I look at my messages because I realize Instagram has a back way of looking at messages. You type in like a certain word, like "hey" or "the," and like a list of messages will come up with the in it. And I'll click it and I'll go, oh, dude, did I just double book myself? And I'll go, and we make it later. And I'm like, American person. That's at 8. Okay. Oh, so I'd be doing a podcast at 2:30 in the afternoon live and then pre-recorded at 8. Oof. Change to Polo.
Is this one live or we pre-recorded? What are we up right now? I'm not exactly sure.
Recording right now.
Okay. That's fun. That gives us, not that there's like a live crowd in front of us or anything like that, but you know what I mean. It's cool. It's less pressure. It's chill. It's lax.
Yeah. Keeps it fun. So Taylor, what I think I probably asked you this last time. What is it like? What is your schedule like the week of a show? Do you have like the training and like your matches, do you have to like prepare a different way than you would do a normal workout?
It depends, honestly, how my body's feeling, how far I'm traveling, and who my opponent is. Because sometimes you're able to meet up with a wrestler and you can kind of talk over some things and stuff like that. Sometimes they're too far away, or you just have never met them yet personally. I mean, it really depends. I try to stick to a very rigorous training routine and workout routine. I'm at the gym nearly every day. I try to do 6 days a week at least. And you got a tan. I work a job too where I work like 12 to 13-hour days now. I started that last May. So that's made my schedule very cramped, to say the least, to try to fit everything in. It all depends, really, like I said, on where I'm at, where I'm located. But I try to stick to my normal schedule for the most part. And like I said, really get the gym in there, get the workout in there, get the training in there. I always try to, if it's someone I haven't worked with, I definitely make a point to study their tape and watch a few of their matches. I try to go a little farther back. I try to go pretty recently and see what they've been up to, what they do, what their shit is. You know what I mean? What they like to do in the ring. Some of their tendencies. Just to try to figure it out, to see how we're going to mix and mesh and mash together. Just to try to, I like to go in with a bit of a game plan to try to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to approach it, what would be cool. And then sometimes just to get a sense of their skill level, their personality, and you know what I mean? Just to feel them out a little bit, because I've made a mistake in the past where I haven't. And sometimes that is for your benefit, where you're pleasantly surprised. But sometimes you're like, ooh, I wish I had watched the tape on this one to see what to expect. Without naming any names. I've had one negative experience, but what you gonna do? It happens. You go with the flow. You keep it rolling, and you figure it out as you can. You know. But yeah, I try to do that. Try to watch the tape and just try to reach out, connect with them, maybe see what they want to do, what the promoter wants, and without going too inside baseball in the situation.
Yeah. I saw your outfit the in the promo picture you sent me that Wolverine / X-Men inspired gear. Like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I
That's
always keep my
amazing.
claws ready at all times. They pop in and they pop out, you know. They go back into my hands, obviously.
Who
You
made
know.
the gear? Like, who made it?
Ooh. Shoot. I have a few different gear makers that I reach out to. I actually have 2 sets of that one. With my gear, I try to always try to reinvent myself. I always try to do something new, bring something new to the table. Obviously, I saw like we had X-Men '97 come out last year, and we had Wolverine and Deadpool come out last year. So I got super inspired by that to switch it up to the Wolverine gear. Before that, I was doing kind of like a bondage look a little bit there. I was calling myself the Killer Queen there for a while. I had ran a feud with Kristen DeVille at the Dynasty, and she's been a veteran of wrestling for I think 16, 17 years on and off, currently off. But I was trying to goad her out of retirement by stealing her gimmick and dubbing myself the Killer Queen. So I did that for a little while. Before that, I was doing kind of like a Power Ranger aesthetic. And with that, I designed my gear with the Killer Queen bondage kind of look. That was like just a preset outfit that I had kind of found and kind of worked it into wrestling. With my Power Ranger gimmick, I kind of worked that out myself. But I always like to change it up. I like to reinvent myself. I have another look in mind post the Wolverine look. For me, it's not like I try not to make it like my gimmick. I try not to, sometimes a little bit like it's added different identities to myself when I change my gear. I kind of like to think of myself and my gear in the situation where it's like, depending on who I'm working, I want to be able to look down and be like, all right, well, this matchup here requires this type of personality. So boom, I can tune into that personality. That's a good matchup for this person. And then, you know, maybe here it requires the Power Ranger. Maybe here it requires the Killer Queen. Maybe here it requires the Wolverine look, or what is the next look that I'm going to do, which I don't want to spoil, but it is going to be orange and black. try to do colors a lot. I love colors. I go to too many shows, and it happens too often where you go and everybody's wearing dark colors, or they're wearing black and another color, with black being the dominant color. And I like to stick out. I like to stand out. I mean, I started off in black gear myself. It was like a skirt type of look going there. And then I had like this pants leather kind of outfit look that I did once early in my career. But I learned kind of early on and throughout my career that I like the color. I like the colors. I want to stick out more. I want these bright colors. So I like the bright yellow that I'm doing now. The outfit I'm going to be getting next is like just a normal orange, but just that it's colors more than it is like black, because it's too easy to stick in with everybody else, and I'm not one to stick in. I like to stand out. So yeah, that's kind of like my gear situation for the most part.
Awesome. So like when you go to these shows, do you ever like some shows you like do you prefer to be the heel or the face?
It depends on how I'm feeling sometimes. Sometimes the situation requires me to invoke more of a heel persona, based on like who my opponent might be or what the going storyline in a promotion is. So I do see. I love being a heel because I like being able to talk trash. I like being able to dominate. I'm typically the stronger of the two women in a lot of my matchups. Not always. And in my next match, it's all four very strong women, including myself. So I'm super hyped about that. But in those situations, sometimes I prefer to be the stronger, more aggressive opponent. Honestly, I prefer working more as a face, because it frees up my moveset a little bit. I know that's a taboo word in some circles, is moveset, but I like to I feel like when I'm a face, I have more options on what I can do in the ring, and it frees me up a little bit. I kind of like to be a bit of a like a Spider-Man type character, where I am a face, but I'm still able to talk that trash, talk that smack, get in your head, not be too mean about it, but just kind of add the little quips and the jabs, and get the crowd entertained in the situation. And I kind of feel like that works best for me. Sometimes I like to be a meanie, if I'm like a little cranky that day, but I definitely prefer a smack talking face, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that's hard these days because, like, remember, it's not like it was in the 90s. People now see you walking around the venue, getting food, or just back in the day, if you were a heel, they didn't let you walk to a table and do merch. I've seen a lot of promotions that the heels, they never come to the floor. You never see them.
No, when I'm a heel, I stay in the back. I stay in the back when I'm a heel. Typically, I mean, merch sales are what they are, and all that fun stuff. But I do like to adhere to some of those old school standards. Sometimes the situation calls where like we're doing pre-tapes or something like that, or I'm just talking over a match, or I'm just having so much fun in the back talking with the girls, and the guys sometimes too. But yeah, when we did American Excellence Wrestling, it was kind of cool because they had a heel locker room and a face locker room, and so you were able to talk about your match for X amount of time with your opponent, but you go into the heel locker room when it's time, and you adhere strictly to those heel rules. The faces go out for merch to rah up the crowd and all that stuff, get the interactions in. It was different. It added a new challenge for me to have like such a long time without being able to talk to your opponent and reach out and see what's going on, and situate things. But I kind of like that challenge. It was a welcome challenge. It's fun. I kind of like to, like I said, adhere to those heel face kind of things. If I'm a face, I'll be out there more. I'll be taking pictures with the fans. Sometimes you got to read the room, and sometimes that can determine whether you're going to be heel and face, because if the people like you, then they like you and they love you, and you're going to be a natural heel or a natural face, and it's going to shine. But sometimes, for whatever reason, they're just going to be, not this one, no, or like, oh, she's bad, she's. So sometimes you let the fans decide, and you play that out in the ring, and you just kind of like adapt to the reactions that you're given.
Yeah, totally. So when it comes to like eating after the show, Taylor, do you ever pack your dinner, or do you eat with the girls, or eat with the crew after the show?
Sometimes they will bring food and it'll be catered events, and for me personally, I stick to such a strict diet throughout the week as I'm training and stuff because I'm always trying to drop those lbs. Last year I went from 240 down to 152. I'm currently
Wow.
at 159. Thank you. So I do take that pretty seriously. Once I'm in my gear, I'm at the show, I don't like to eat show day. I might have a little bit of a snack in the morning or maybe some eggs or something like that, like early in the morning. But once I go to the show, I really don't eat until the ring's packed back up at the end of the night. I don't want to be bloated. I don't want to be gassy. I don't want to be any of those other things. I don't want to be running to the bathroom because sometimes the gear just does not allow you to go to the bathroom until you have to take it off. So no, I like, but if I'm being honest, like some of these far trips away, you don't have super good options. So it's like you end up at a Wawa's or a McDonald's, and I
Right.
really don't eat that stuff throughout the week or like ever. But on a show day, I not that I like I'm not like starving myself, but you go for such a long stretch without eating, and then you work the match, and you help. I like to help with the ring and all that stuff. Um, so like, and sometimes you're just eating trash food, and sometimes it's the logistics aren't there to be able to pack it so early in the morning and then go, and it really depends. I eat very strict throughout the week, but if I'm at a show, I kind of use that as a bit of a cheat day, especially afterwards, and it's just like, here we are at Wawa's getting a burger or something, or here we are at Taco Bell or McDonald's, or but I mean, sometimes if you're able to, you go out with you know what I mean. You go out with the people that you know. You go to wherever everybody wants to go. I'm not picky. I'm not a picky eater.
Mm. Awesome. Well, it's cool, but at the same time, I feel bad because sometimes you guys are on that road. You're just hitting that road. You know what I mean, Taylor? And it's just like you think that, okay, I'm gonna be able to find a really good like restaurant or local chain, and it's like you get out of those shows and it's like 11 or 12 o'clock after you get
Everybody's close.
yeah, everything's closed. No locals are open. I live in Milford, PA, and after hours, these places are. My parents say it, and we laugh when they say it. The sidewalks go in at 6 o'clock here in Milford, PA. Like everything's closed.
It's unfortunate because as I'm going into some of these towns, some days like I come and go, and so you're not able to see like the sights of the area. You just kind of like are passing through these beautiful towns, and you see these types of things. Oh, I'd love to go here. I would love to go there, or I would love to try this. I'd love to try that. But like I've also made the mistake where I've gone to like New Jersey and I was like, ooh, I gotta try this, and then I had it, and then during my match I was like, ooh, I shouldn't eat that. So I've just
Dang
adapted
Dorito.
to it was loaded nacho fries, if I'm being honest
Oh,
with you. Like, it was a weakness, and they had a place that all the guys were going to, and they kept coming back to the show with them, and I'm like, where did you go? I want those. But I paid for it during you know what I mean, throughout the night. So I kind of learned to not do that, you know, and just it's
yeah.
unfortunate because you don't always get to. I'm going into Maine, like I said, next month, and I'm going down the day before, and I'm leaving the day after, getting a hotel and stuff. So I'll be more able to check out some of the sites the day before and maybe the day after, and actually get to enjoy the places I'm going to.
Like, do you have any fun stories from the ring?
Ooh, from the ring. I mean, there's so many fun stories. There's so many.
Nothing that can get you in trouble, Taylor.
No, yeah. I mean, because there's one story that's like just it was so recently down in Connecticut. It's but it doesn't paint someone in the best light, so I don't really want to share that
Oh,
story.
no. Next question.
But no, I mean, there's so many like little fun. There's some hiccups and stuff like that. There's audibles that you have to call. I very much like to discuss physicality with my opponent, and because I'm a glutton for pain and punishment, slap me as hard as you want, literally. I like the realism in wrestling. I like the believability, and I feel like one of the best ways to do that is to make it as real as you can. But I also respect the I respect my worker who I'm working with, and I want to make sure that they're safe and that they're comfortable and that they're secure and no one's getting hurt. And not that like I'm hurting or myself or anybody else with these big moves, but as far as like strikes or slaps, I would tell them hit me as hard as you want, straight up,
Oh,
because I
geez.
can take it. I have been going to hardcore and death metal shows since I was like 13 in a
Mm.
very aggressive area, so I'm used to getting punched in my face, and I figure it's professional wrestling, and that's kind of what I'm here for. I'm not trying to shorten my career or anyone else's, but as far as strikes on me, I prefer full physicality. But there's cute little audibles. I mean, honestly, for me, some of my fun moments are talking over the match, and like the best version of a match for me, or my favorite version of a match, is the one that you talk over in the back like 6 times, and you're halfway throughing it, and you're performing it, and you're doing like this and this, and oh, and I got you, and oh no, I guess I didn't. Like, as you're talking over the moves, like, oh, I'm supposed to hit you in this, but you're gonna reverse it. So yeah, I like that. Those are the versions of matches that fans never get to see, but for me, they're the most fun. We're having like the most laughs and the good times and stuff. Like talking over the matches with the other girls. It is something that I think if wrestling fans got to see more, they would laugh at and enjoy. But for me, that's very fun, honestly.
Awesome. If there was anybody that wanted to pick up any merch, where is there anywhere you have your merch, or do you do it?
Yeah, no, I have a pro wrestling tees. I have 2 different Power Ranger designs. One where I got the Morpher. One that's like Chubby Taylor. I call myself brown haired Chubby Taylor. In that gear, I have a Killer Queen design where I'm like reaching out and I've got the crown and I'm holding Kristen DeVille, the actual Killer Queen, in my hand. I have a design. Let me turn right here if this is can see. I don't know if you see that. That's like my Power Ranger kind of design there with the winged angel and stuff. And I have a brand new design that I have and I've released and I have stickers of, but I honestly, I've doomed myself now. I haven't put it up on my pro wrestling tees yet, but it's I'm kind of doing one of these, and I have my Wolverine outfit on. It's my ultimate weapon gear. It's brand new. For my last 3 shirts, the one I just showed you, the Killer Queen one, and then the ultimate weapon one. I have an artist named Mark DeGrouchy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but his site is landmine designs or landslide designs. My memory on small little things are sometimes off. But he's amazing. He does a lot of people in AEW, Ring of Honor, some WWE people. And he does me, a lot of people on the independents as well. He does a lot of bands, hardcore death metal bands, stores and businesses. And I'm a big fan of his artwork, and I'm a big fan of him as a human being. And that's huge for me, is respecting someone as a human being who I collaborate with. And he's a great individual, and his turnaround time is great. His price is amazing, and I'm always happy to work with him. I'll probably be using him for a long time now. But Taylor Oneshot, if you look that up on Pro Wrestling Tees, like I said, I have like 5 or 6 designs on there. It's always super sweet when you go to a different state and someone's already wearing the shirt. Like it's awesome when they buy it at the merch table, but when you show up and they're already wearing the shirt, and you're like, I know who you are because I know your name popped up on my Pro Wrestling Tees, and it's got to be you.
So does your like with the Pro Wrestling Tees? Like I've had friends buy there, but I'd never had a chance to buy there before. So do people's names pop up on your like a screw or your phone or whatever that who orders from there?
Yeah, like you get like I don't always check, but like you get like a I think you get sometimes first name, last name, even sometimes. You don't get like any of their payment information or anything like that because that's all safe and secured. But sometimes it'll tell you the state that it's shipped to, I believe, and then it might tell you the name sometimes. Yeah, no, it definitely does. And I don't know if they changed it or not because I haven't looked in a little bit. I just kind of oh, cool, I saw the shirt, and I try not to be like checking it up like that too much. But I do remember one time where it was my first, because it was the first shirt that I had sold. It was a gentleman in New Jersey. It was the first shirt I sold online, at least, and then I saw him wearing it at the show, and I was like, "You must be," and I believe his name was Joe actually, but he went by Joseph.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, that's cool. A little insider baseball. But I also I buy my own because the Pro Wrestling Tees, they keep an online inventory, which is super awesome. But I also buy an inventory stock so I can have them with me wherever I travel so people can buy them at shows as well.
So when you travel to shows and you have your merch, how do you keep it? In a tote, in a suitcase? Like, how do you keep it?
Right now, it's in a cardboard box.
Okay.
Because I just had to cram it there for space issues. But it's a very clean cardboard box. It was the one that they were shipped in. But no, when I have it all situated, I'll roll them up and I'll tape around it and I'll write large, or I'll do an XL and an M and all that stuff, and I'll just have them in there so it's easy. I used to work with a lot of hardcore bands. I was in one. My brother's in 2 different death metal bands, and I used to tour with some hardcore bands. So I used to run some merch tables. So I kind of have a good experience and a good feel for several years on how they do it. And I kind of just took from that and brought it into this world for myself, and it runs pretty smooth.
Awesome. Before we go, Taylor, if there was any young kid, like I'm gonna say 19 to 20-year-olds that are just getting into the business, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Ooh, there's so much advice. I'm actually super proud of this because at the show this past weekend, I was actually hyping up Ringside Gemma. Gemma, she's a sweetheart. I was hyping her up, helping her get together her just so she felt right. She felt good about her outfit. Her confidence was peak there. And Tina San Antonio actually said, because I've worked with her, shared some locker rooms with her before, and she called me a locker room leader, which made me feel amazing. No, I always try to I was talking to Eden Gray. She was backstage with us, and she just suffered an injury, and I was just trying to tell her, and I had to tell people, you're here, you're killing it, especially when they're at that younger age. Like you're here, you're doing it, you're here way before I was. Be proud of yourself, be confident, and know that you're surrounded by all these strong, powerful women who have all this experience. You can pluck our minds on anything. We're always willing to give you advice, tips, encouragement. But I always try to tell people, reach out to people. Don't be afraid to message people. Not everybody's going to respond back, and not everybody's going to be able to respond back all the time. But don't be afraid to pick the minds. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, especially me. I very much like to be there for younger talent. I like to be there for talent that's older than me, my own age. And I just like to make sure that everybody feels confident and feels strong and just knows that we're here, we're together, we're going to be safe, we're going to entertain well, we're going to make sure that everybody's safe and protected. There's a lot of love backstage in the locker room, and it's a great place to be in. Train. It's one of those things where it's like, if you have a dream and you have a passion, you can do it, but you have to put in the work. It's never going to be easy. It's always going to be a grind. You always have to try as hard as you can, and if you think you're trying as hard as you can, try a little harder. I try to give a lot of fitness advice because I felt like I did an amazing job at losing all the weight and putting on all this muscle. And I try to tell people what is my fitness routine, what I do. I try to tell them what my dietary situation was. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just try to tell them what my diet routine was and tell them that might not necessarily work for you. You can use that as a basis to kind of go it off. Cardio is key in wrestling. Strength is one thing, and it's very important, and your physique is very important, but cardio is key. Go to the gym, do the stairs. I do 20 minutes on the stairs on a 13, sometimes a 14 for 13, at least 20, wow. 25 minutes. I go hard. I go hard, and my legs show for it. Yeah, do cardio. Cardio is key. Strength is probably second after cardio. And as far as I always try to tell them, don't focus too much on the gimmick. Don't focus too much on the look. A lot of people want to go into wrestling and be like, I want to be this character, and I want to be this, and I want to be that. And it's like, I didn't know that I was going to be this version of myself going into it. I didn't think I was going to be this version of myself. Focus very much on the training. Focus on the athletics. Focus on the cardio. The rest will come. It'll change. Your character will develop. It'll grow. It'll feel right and natural eventually, and you'll come into your own. But focus on the other things first, because that's what's most important.
Awesome. Taylor, I want to wish you nothing but the best on your wrestling journey. Thank you so much for choosing Dudes at Ringside again. And I hope all the best for you here now in 2025. Hope to see you at PPW in Pennsylvania, or a New Era, or any of the ones we have here in Pennsylvania. I am Joe Panther III. Well, I'll tell them, and you could send me a booking list you have, and I'll just post it in my story, and I'll tag them. Or you could just I'm Joe Panther the Third.
I'm Taylor Oneshot.
And we will catch you in the next one.
Heck yeah. Thanks for